Eagle Talk fam.
What's up, guys? We are at number 103. Welcome.
Yes, episode number 103. And we are going to hop right into it and talk about a subject that I know a lot of us feel in entrepreneurship and in life. Mm-hmm. And how do you operate when friends and family don't support your business?
I think that's an amazing subject. And we have definitely both been down that path.
Yeah, we have. You know, I am thinking of a time, y'all, where before I got into real estate, you know how everybody started a side hustle, right? Or I'm not saying everybody does, but there are so many different side hustles you can start, like MLMs, multi-level marketing, things like that. And I will never forget this time that Corey and I joined a multiple level marketing company. And this company we were selling phone service. I think we were trying to get, like, it was like, you're going to deregulate your phone service. And I may have deregulation. That was the big old word. Yep. And Corey and I had to be about 18. So maybe you were 20. We were real young. And I never forget, we signed up, we paid $500 to sign up. And I'm totally not knocking the company, right? Like, it has not where I'm going with the story. But when we signed up, I remember the first two people we went to my mama and your daddy to try to get them to change their phone service. And they both said no.
But I think that was a good experience for us to deal with rejection.
Yeah.
And to have the the time where you didn't get the support from your family.
It was a great experience, but I'm taking myself back to, I'm thinking that had to be like 1999, 1998. And I remember like really being hurt because my mom was the type of mom that, like, if I said, she would support anything that I did up until that point. But it was a harsh reality that, number one, everyone is not gonna rock with what you're rocking with. But I know then I took it a little bit more personal. Like, now that I have been on the other side of entrepreneurship, I understand that I was trying to solve a problem that she really didn't have, right? So it was not a great fit. She was not my ideal client, which we've talked about in previous episodes. But at the time, boy, were my feelings hurt.
Yeah. Okay, so that's over 20 years ago. So we've grown, right? So I'll say this. I really think that that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion. I think that not having the support of your friends and family, it's not, I won't say it's a good thing. I say that it's a learning lesson for you.
Yeah.
And the lesson is they are not going to understand your vision. And they also know you for who you used to be.
Yeah.
Not who you're becoming.
No, that's right? A great one.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
Right. So it's almost kind of like, let's get that out the way so we can get to where we're going.
Yeah. So as you say that, I am going back, like, I could just so many stories, just thinking about myself as a school teacher, or even let me go back to that selling phone service situation, right? My mom was probably looking like, little girl, like I've been on, like, I guarantee you I was not the first person in her life that tried to change her phone service, right? Tried to change what's working. It was a new venture for me, and I was excited, and I saw all the possibilities. And quite honestly, I was really seeing how this could change my life, right? I really, 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 really was not focused on being a resource, solving a problem, helping someone cross the imaginary bridge to something better, right? I was looking at it from, you not supporting me, right? Without understanding, well, why isn't she supporting me? Is she supporting me because she thinks that she wants to see me fail? Absolutely not. Right. You know, my mother didn't want to see me fail, but at the same token, I had to understand that this was my baby. This is what I was excited about. And because she didn't share that excitement to the point that she wanted to whip out her credit card, because truth be told, in like fashion, 3 months later, we were no longer doing that multi-level marketing thing, right? She would have switched up her whole deal. But now I can go back and say, I really acted immaturely with how I responded, because again, you just can't expect everybody to roll with what you're rolling with just because that's what you're doing now in your life.
Yeah, I think too, to your point, I think that they kind of know that, right?
Yeah.
They know that, okay, I signed up today, but 90 days from now, I'm going to be reverting back to what I already had.
Yeah.
And you might not know that because you're hyped up, right, from the new beginnings of whatever it is you're doing. But they know that A, it's not going to work, and B, you're going to be on to the next thing.
Yeah.
What I want to speak on this subject is really getting in the rooms and having conversations with people at a higher level that are doing what you're trying to do, but asking them how they overcome rejection.
Yeah.
Because
that's a good one.
Yeah. That's really where it's going to start, with the friends and family.
Yeah.
Right. And then you get out to the masses and to the public, and then kind of understand how to work and massage people and not really manipulate them, but make them understand and believe in what you're doing and what you're trying to sell them.
No, this is great. I actually, I am in a class, a coaching class. I joined this mastermind, and my mastermind teacher gave us this video. I'll try to see if I can link it. And it was like 30 days of rejection, right?
There you go.
And the experiment that this guy did was that he went out and he literally went to try and get rejected 30 days in a row.
I remember
right?
you telling me that, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great video. I mean, and he would do the most random things, like knock on a stranger's door and be like, "Can I plant a flower in your yard?" For them to be like, no.
Right.
But what he found, and I don't want to give it away, but what he found was that, number one, he developed a certainty or an understanding that people's no really came from a level of them just not really being clear on your why.
Yeah.
Right. When they were clear on why, then it still might be a no, but the no might be rooted in what I said before. This just isn't a good fit for me.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was just kind of like no for every other reason. But I think what happens, and especially when you start entrepreneurship, is that, you start your photography business, or you start your dental practice, or you start doing taxes, right? And you automatically think that everybody that you have connected with, like in a perfect world, they all would just automatically start sending business to you. But the reality of the matter is that sometimes people have things already in place, and we haven't earned their trust. Like, they trust you as a friend. You haven't earned their trust in that other realm, or they truly aren't looking for that product. I'm thinking about a good friend of ours that just recently moved out. I'm gonna shout him all the way out. They just recently moved to Texas. He and his wife. We actually had them on the podcast, Aaron and Anaya.
He gonna love this.
Yeah, he gonna love.
Shout out my boy A-Ro.
Shout
Aaron
out A-Ro,
Foster.
right? So Aaron and Anaya, they just moved. Well, they've been here for a little while though.
Been here a little bit over a year.
Yeah, they were doing it scared. We're gonna have to link their episode because it was a great episode when they just talked about just stepping out on faith. Well, now they are opening a cycling studio. They're starting to do their fitness deal here, picking up traction. And guess what? I haven't been. I've been once, right?
No, we went together.
We went together
Yeah.
once, right? So I went once to support. However, the location and the time, like, I already have a routine that's set that works for my life. So the fact that I am not personally signed up, it doesn't mean, like, I would never want them. And I think they're mature enough to know it's not that we don't support them. It's just that it doesn't work for where I am in my life today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that takes a different level of maturity though, which I think a lot of times when we're coming into business, we don't always understand that, you know what, my mama wasn't hating on me. It just was not a good fit. What I was offering was not a good fit for her. Yeah.
So two things. Let's go back to Aaron, psychotherapy.
And by the way, we go shout it out. So we want y'all to go if it fits y'all life. Psychotherapy. Look him up on, what is his name? What is his name on Instagram? Mr. Clean AF. Yeah, on Instagram. Check him out because he has a bomb cycle class that he does in Frisco.
So a couple things I want to go back to. Let's talk about Aaron Foster at Mr. AF, Clean AF. He put out a post yesterday. Like, I need 20 Eagles to meet me Saturday morning at 5:30 a.m. Right. So going back to what you're saying, it just doesn't fit with our schedule. Yeah. That doesn't mean you stop there because it doesn't fit in our schedule.
Right. Because there's somebody else out there who's like, I've been looking for, and what we have to do in business is figure out who has the problem that we can be the solution to.
Absolutely. So he does his own situation on Saturday mornings now at 5:30. He also does one Friday morning at 5:30 at Lifetime.
Yeah.
And he just picked up a Tuesday class at 6 p.m. So he's tracking, right? He's figuring it out. I want to go back to your no. And something I was listening to over the weekend. I don't know if it was Tony Robbins. I hate quoting people, but pretty much what they said was your no means yes tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And you continue to get those no's because eventually that yes is coming, right? Yes. So I guess the point that I'm making is don't let the no defeat you, because you can wake up tomorrow and that no is a yes. Like you can have 10 no's and 11 is a yes, and that 11 could be 50 grand.
Yeah.
Or it could be 5,000.
Or that 11 could be just a conversation or a connection that unlocks the next door for you, right?
Exactly.
And look, here we talk about other people, but let's talk about full transparency. When Corey and I first started Eagle Talk, right? Kind of a little salty that we didn't get as much support from some people that we knew. But then we had to think about it and say, well, you know what though? Our conversations are really talking to this person, right? A specific person. And we had to be clear that Eagle Talk truly is a platform for people who, and not to say you're not a dreamer if you don't watch Eagle Talk, but obviously those of you that are watching, you're dreaming, you're creating. A lot of times you or your spouse is in some sort of entrepreneurial space. So of course we're going to resonate with someone who is in those spaces that have the same problems, as opposed to when I was a school teacher, Eagle Talk wouldn't have been something that I would have tuned into faithfully, right? For sure. So it's just really understanding, like sometimes we have to take our feelings and emotions out of the situation and look at it for what it is.
Oh man, take your feelings and emotions. That's hard, right? But it goes back to staying true to who you are.
Yeah.
Knowing what you're doing, trusting your vision and your purpose, and also, in my opinion, I think the people the word now is getting in the right room.
Yeah.
Right. That's a true statement. If you're around the right rooms and you're having conversations again with people that are overcoming objections, or people that have had hard times, or just been through more than you've been through, then I think that those no's would just have you focused really on what the goal is.
Yeah.
My opinion.
No, I agree with that. And I do think that we've talked about this in so many episodes, just how lonely entrepreneurship can be and feel. And one thing that I would want to share with the person who's listening, like, you're not the only one who mama didn't buy your bath bombs.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? You're not the only person who, everybody's your family, you make cakes, but they still went to Sam's Club and got the cakes, right? Sometimes though, I am going to say sometimes people are flat out haters. Okay. And that's why you need to have, and we're going to talk about it actually in the next episode about building support systems, building supports with people who you can run with. And sometimes that's even scary in entrepreneurship, because we don't want to run with nobody. We just want to be solopreneurs and do things ourselves. But we have to get to a point where even if you're in business, you gotta expect the no, right? Now, I think that it stings a bit when you automatically expect a yes from your people. But once you understand that no's are just a part of the game, then we developed a callus, right? We develop a higher cadence or strength pattern where we can withstand the no, no matter who the no is coming from.
Okay, I'm gonna say this on and off the record, right? You mentioned haters, and you years ago taught me a church term, spirit of discernment. That's a church term, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
I remember you saying it all the time.
Yeah, I have a spirit of discernment, right?
So here's the motto: keep it moving, right? Because you're going to have people that support, and you're going to have people that don't support. But you have to keep it moving, right? If you dissect,
for a variety of reasons, they're going to support
so
or not support.
If you dissect business, everyone is in business to make money.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't stop at the client that you just closed today or the person that you didn't close today. You have to keep it moving. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you understand that, then a hater or an objection or somebody that's on the fence won't slow down the momentum.
Right.
You have to keep it moving and go on to the next person that you're trying to serve.
No, I absolutely agree with that. And as you were talking, I was thinking too, with that spirit of discernment, don't think just because they support you too that they not hate.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Below the belt.
Just because, they paid the invoice, that doesn't mean that there might not be an underlying thing there. So discernment goes both ways. And it's just par for the course, which is another reason, y'all, why we always encourage you, first and foremost, like, I don't know how anybody doing life, business, marriage, anything without Jesus, right? Because when you're clear on who he is, then you become clearer on who he's created you to be, which then lets you walk in your purpose regardless of who hating. I mean, and let's just think about it. Jesus was like the ultimate hated on person, right? Yeah. The people he came to save crucified him, but he stayed on mission. And that's the thing that we have to think about. And that's why you can't just be jumping and just getting into business just for the money. It truly has to be like, where have your gifts, your skills, and your passion lined? And as long as you're walking in alignment and you have discerned what you're supposed to be doing, it doesn't matter who does or doesn't support, because you're clear on where your provision is going to come from. But if we just so concerned on the fact that I asked my cousin Keisha to repost my post and she still ain't did it, but she posting all these TikToks, like, girl, you wasting too much energy worried about Keisha, because Keisha is not your ideal client anyway. So what do we do to get in front of the people that we really were created to serve?
Keep it moving. That's what we do. So you know what, y'all? I'm gonna drop the mic because we have given a whole lot of information.
You done?
Here.
You quit?
Yeah, I'm done. This is too much. But you no, seriously, we hit a lot of really good points. You drove them home. Keisha's not our ideal client.
Keisha, well, look, unless it's a Keisha out here, we're not hating on Keisha's. Like, we just
cousin Keisha though.
Funny thing though, this is the funny thing. Like, when I used to teach and my students, like, when I would be bugging and needed some time, and they'd be like, Miss Lewis, I'm like, my name Keisha. Like, Keisha is like my alter ego, so I got a little thing for Keisha's.
My mama told me if I was a girl, she would have named me Keisha. You know that, right?
Maybe that's what it is. maybe the femme part of you is calling Keisha.
Oh my God. Glennis, edit. No, just playing. No, seriously, we have really gave some good information. And I'm happy to address the positive side of the no and the negative side of the no, and really kind of just dissect what that means from our perspective and opinions. But hopefully, the viewers got something out of it and they understand that they just need to keep it moving. Yeah,
keep it moving, y'all. And look, don't be not showing up to the barbecues this summer because they ain't asked you to make your pound cakes or something like that. Like, it's gonna be all right. Like, it's gonna be okay. You go get another wedding video, I promise you. it's gonna be fine. But seriously, if any part of this episode you've been like, wow, such needs to hear this. If any entrepreneur or somebody who just has felt discouraged because they feel like they're not getting the support they're supposed to, go ahead and look for the share link button, share this episode. And if you are so inclined, we would love it if you would give us a 5-star review. But more importantly, let's go ahead and share it and get this out there to the masses.
We want to always thank y'all for watching.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye, Eagles.
See y'all.